So, hi there, everyone. Good morning. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on mental health entitled On Becoming a Plantito or Plantita, Promoting Eco Wellness in the Workplace for a Better Well Being. My name is Sancho Marchadesh, and I will be your co host together with.
And my name is Crystal Verhag, and I will also be your co-host today alongside Sancho.
So, actually, with that, Crystal, could you tell us what we should all expect this morning?
Thank you for that question, Sancho. So I want us to look back to the pandemic when lockdown was in full effect. We were all struggling to cope with anxiety and the uncertainty of it all. One of our coping mechanisms actually became planting or gardening in the comfort of our own homes. Kaya nga nauso yung terms plantito and plantita, di ba? So ano nga ba yung benefits of having plants in our environment and how can we incorporate that in our workplace?
Yes, you're absolutely totally right there. So, nature, climate change, and mental health collaborate hand in hand. And we have to realize climate change is a part of our lives, is a part of our future. Now, more than ever, we have to take up our stand and realize the significance of nature around us.
That's a wonderful point, Sancho. So I think we should get right to it. So before we start, I would like to give a brief introduction of who we are. PVP is an insight solutions and training company. We specialize in three areas. We have workplace mental health, organizational development, and market research. We use our core competencies in data analytics and our bias for science-driven approach and methodologies in our solutions and interventions. That's why we always say we offer right data and deep data to our clients and partners.
Now, these are the services we have alongside our three areas of specialization. We have services in mental health and wellness, organizational development, and of course, market research.
So
with that,
So for the house rules, we would like to remind everyone, please, to follow these three rules. First, please listen attentively. I would like to remind everyone that after the presentation is done, we will have a small quiz and we will be offering prizes sponsored by Catch.
Yes, and with that, secondly, we request that you all please mute your microphones.
Yes, so we can listen attentively to the speakers as well. And use the chat box, please, if you would like to say anything or if you have any questions all throughout this webinar. So first of all, we would like to introduce our two speakers for today, starting with Mr. Jose Marie Juliesa. Sir Jomar is a registered psychometrician and currently the Workplace Mental Health and Well-Being Manager of Premier Value Provider, Inc. He earned his BS Psychology degree from Universidad de Manila and his master's degree in psychology with specialization in clinical psychology from Adamson University. He is also currently a faculty member of Makati Medical Center College, where he handles undergraduate psychology courses.
And succeedingly, we have Miss Christine Rosales Samala. Tini Rosales Samala is the General Manager of Catch Lifestyle and Garden. She's also an events and CSR consultant for InterAsia Outsource Incorporated, a non-charging manpower company.
So without further ado, why don't we welcome Sir Jomar to now begin our presentation for today. Good morning, Sir Jomar.
Okay, so thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. And of course, again, thank you so much to our lovely host this morning. So ayan, magandang umaga po sa lahat. No? And with that, let me just share my screen for us to begin with our learning session this morning. So again, my name is Jomar. No? Yan, you can call me Sir Jomar na lang po para chill lang tayo this morning. So again, let me share my screen now. So I hope everyone is, nakapag-breakfast na sila no, para tuloy-tuloy ang ating discussion this morning. And I believe this will be a jam-packed learning session dahil marami tayong matututunan ngayong araw. So let me know if nakikita nyo na ang aking screen.
Yes, Sir Jomar, kita na po.
Teka lang. So with that, okay. So yeah, that's it. So again, good morning everyone. My name is Jomar Julieza, and our learning session for this morning is about becoming a plantito and plantita. So this topic is about promoting eco-wellness in the workplace for a better well-being. No? So we all know na naging trending or naging patok talaga ang pagiging plantito and plantita all throughout here in the Philippines. And yun nga, currently alam naman natin na may benefits talaga ang pag ang mga halaman, di ba? Well, not just halaman itself, but the nature, the plants, animals, and yung water sa paligid natin, no? So for this learning session, we will be covering or we will be discussing about eco-wellness. So what is eco-wellness? Eco-wellness and well-being, why we should include nature in our well-being kit. And of course, we will talk about bringing nature indoors, how eco-wellness can be promoted in the workplace. So before we begin with our learning discussion, I want you to visit www.menti.com and answer the question, on what level of plantito or plantito do you belong? So you may use the code 342-86395. So kindly to our host kindly type in sa chat box natin yung code 342-86395 so that our participants can join dito sa ating icebreaker. So para at least malaman natin kung anong level ba ng plantito or plantita ang ating mga participants. So with that, I'll be sharing a new screen para at least ma-share natin yung Menti this morning.
Sir, ano po yung number? Ulit.
The code po is 342-86395. So, teka, mag-share ulit ako ng aking screen para makita ng lahat. So, ayan. So, let me know if nakikita na ang aking screen. So, again, on what level of plantito or plantita do you belong? So, ayan. Currently, we already have 8 participants here in our Menti, no? So tatlo ang nagsasabi na not yet a plantito and or plantita, and meron din nagsasabi na starting plantito at plantita. So again, baka naiisip ng ating mga participants na we're trying to convert them. Kaya tinatanong ko kung anong klaseng or anong level na ba ng plantito at plantita sila. So hindi naman, no? So kumbaga parang ang goal talaga nitong webinar nito is for us to become aware that nature really helps with our mental health. And yun nga, particularly with the, di ba, yung threat nga ng climate change, no, since sobrang maingay na talaga siya. So we really have to, work and take care of our plants and as well as our nature sa ngayon. So ayan. So keep your comments coming or keep your responses coming here in our Menti, no? So sa mga hindi naman po maka-access, you can type in sa ating chat box yung mga responses nyo kung anong level ng plantito or plantita na ba kayo. So kayo ba yun nga, not yet a plantito or plantita? A starting plantito or plantita? Kayo na ba yung grand plantito? When we say grand, medyo madami-dami ng halaman. And syempre, the ultimate and eternal plantito or plantita as in para ng jungle. Para ng jungle ang bahay. Pero syempre, yun nga, syempre tolerable, nasa tolerable level pa naman. So yan, currently we already have 15 participants here in our Menti. So let's check yung ating chat box. Yan. So may mga nagsasabi dito na sila ay nasa starting plantito and plantita. Tapos we have here the grand plantito and plantita. Yan. And ultimate, no? May mga ultimate plantitos and plantitas rin sila. Ayan. So, yan. Currently, we have 50 participants here in our Zoom. And yun nga, 15 participants na ang nagre-respond. But anyway, so for us to proceed with our next question. So again, thank you so much sa mga nag-participate here in our first question. So our next question. Yan. What plant babies do you have now? So ano bang mga halaman ang meron na ba kayo? So if you're familiar with the name or the scientific name of your plant, you can share it with us. So kahit yung mismong tawag lang no ng plant niyo no. So ako kung may i-share man ako, what plant babies do you have? No? Actually kasi wala na akong plant baby. But before, like siguro way back pre-pandemic, may mga cactus ako no na inaalagaan. And yun nga, unfortunately, since nasa workplace ko sila nilagay, and hindi ako ganun ka-equip in terms of handling plant babies sa office. Parang namatay sila, nag-dry sila eh. So I have before some bunny ears. Hindi ko alam kung anong tawag doon, but bunny ears yung tawag doon sa cactus. Yung parang ang soft nung thorns nila pero sobrang dikit sa halaman. Ay sa halaman tuloy, sa daliri kapag hinawakan. Pero ang cute-cute nila. Sobrang kaya yun yung gusto ko kasi ang cute-cute ng mga halaman. So ayan. So here we have ng mga responses. We have photos. Ayan. Photos pala. Yan, Sansevieria. So let me, if tama yung pronunciation ko ng mga names, no? So we have here indoor plants or succulents. Yan. We have cacti. Yan. Flowering plants like gumamela, sampaguita, and calachuchi, succulents, cactus. So green tea, passion flower, lantana. How do you pronounce this? Ternate or ternate? All which I turn into tea or wine. Oh, I love tea. Yan, nakakatuwa no na kumbaga parang at the same time since we have plant babies or nag-aalaga tayo pero nagbe-benefit rin tayo dun sa mga halaman na inaano by which yun nga ginagawa nating teas, di ba? So yan, philodendrons, dumb canes, snake plants, and a lot more. So we have here response na oregano. So actually, I remember when I was in elementary, yung teacher ko, ang dami niyang oregano sa school. Sobra-sobrang. So ayan. So dito naman tayo sa chat box. Tingnan natin kung ano yung mga responses ng ating mga participants. So ayan, merong nag-respond na meron daw siyang snake plant. Ayan. So birds of paradise. So either plants lang and succulents. So actually, ang cute rin ng mga succulents, no? Lalo-lalo na kapag maganda yung parang container niya. Sobrang decorated. No? So black cardinal. So actually, hindi ako familiar sa black cardinal pero sige, later on after this learning session, isa-search ko yung black cardinal. So we have here Aloe barbadensis, Capsicum frutescens, tama po ba ang aking pronunciation? We have here holy basil and peppermint, flower plants, pothos, philodendrons, snake plants, caladium or caladium, tama mo ba? Ayan, so dito naman sa ating mentee, may nagsabi meron daw siyang kamote. So ayan. So thank you so much sa mga responses, no? So later on matututunan or ma-appreciate pa natin ang ating mga alaga with our learning discussion today. So ayan, thank you so much sa mga responses. So I'll be sharing my screen now. So ayan, natuwa ako dahil ang daming nag-share ng kanilang mga plant babies, no? So if only lang na pwede din natin i-share, no, yung picture mismo ng mga halaman natin para at least ma-share, and as well as magkaroon din tayo ng sharing kung gaano na ba katagal, how long are we, taking care of this plant, or ano yung mga napagdaanan natin together with that plant na mas masaya. But limited lang kasi ang ating learning session this morning. But anyway, again, thank you so much sa mga responses ninyo, no? So let's now proceed to our learning session this morning. So let me know if nakikita yung screen, no? So you can give me, you can give thumbs up or you can chat in our chat box if hindi pa rin nakikita. So again, our learning session this morning is about eco-wellness. So ano ba yung eco-wellness na yun? Bakit pinag-uusapan siya or natin ngayon? No? Hindi naman siya literally trending, but this webinar is I want you to have an awareness about this one. So eco-wellness is the perceived sense of wellness one experiences through their connection with nature. So I believe most of you are already informed that being connected with the environment, with plants, brings so much benefit, particularly in our mental health. No? And of course, as professionals, we are aiming for our, let's say, for example, our employees, our colleagues, students, and of course, yung kahit sinong mga tao na nakapaligid sa atin to have a positive well-being. And of course, with that, di ba, we are working from what is called a wellness perspective, where wellness is considered the integration of mind, body, and spirit. So with that, no, kumbaga parang with the current approaches in terms of our with our wellness, parang hindi natin masyadong na emphasize in wellness when it comes to with our wellness with our connection sa nature, no? Kumbaga yan, meron tayong wellness particularly in terms of our physical health, such as yun, Zumba, di ba? Pero hindi tayo masyadong na engorge or parang hindi tayo masyadong nagbibigay emphasis like connection or wellness when it comes to our nature, no? And with that, according nga, di ba, sa sinasabi sa Gestalt psychology that the whole is considered greater than the sum of its parts. Thus, we have to target the well-being of an individual as a whole. And yun nga, we really have to include the concept of eco-wellness in our wellness approach para at least magkaroon tayo ng holistic into our well-being. No? So in which dito nga nilagay ko, no, having a relationship with nature, whether through more time outdoors or being passionate about the environment, is linked with being effective through challenges, being creative, and of course, physically healthy. No? So yan, maraming study na talaga ang nagsosupport yan. And I hope after this learning session, ma-realize natin or magkaroon talaga tayo ng connection or deeper connection with the environment. No? So ngayon, since we're talking about eco-wellness, and yun nga, di ba, we are aware na may connect or rather may impact or good impact or positive impact talaga with our well-being or mental health ang nature or yung particularly the plants, the animals, or the environment. This is because of what we call now the biophilia hypothesis. So ano nga ba, Sir Jomar, itong biophilia hypothesis? No? So the biophilia hypothesis is the belief that humans are genetically predisposed to be attracted to nature. It states that all humans inherently love the natural world. No? So in what you call that evolutionary perspective, no, sinasabi doon na we are really connected to environment, and that is because syempre nung yung mga ancestors natin, di ba, kumbaga definitely nakatira talaga sila sa caves, kumbaga parang connected talaga sila with nature, di ba? And yun nga, parang sinasabi rin kasi sa biophilia hypothesis na with our technology, with the latest innovations that we have now, medyo lumalayo tayo sa nature. And yun nga with the threat ng climate change, no, parang nasasabi na rin na yun nga, unti-unti na talaga tayong lumalayo with the nature. And that's the reason why we are sometimes experiencing kumbaga parang negative wellness. So ngayon, let's try to go back or parang we have to connect ulit dito sa ating nature, no? In which dito nilagay ko, the love for nature and animals is an inherent feature of all the human species. This is also explicitly visible with the close relationship humans have with nature and the different life forms it offers as compared to the relationship humans have with their own artificial objects. So mas mabigat, di ba, yung connection natin with tawag ito, living things such as the plants, animals, as compared dun sa mga material things that we have, no? And definitely na observe talaga natin yung ganong deeper connection, lalong-lalo na nung nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic. So we definitely, we are really aware that during the first wave of the COVID pandemic, no, the Philippines has definitely faced an immense challenges in addressing the health or let's say, for example, the socioeconomic needs of many Filipinos, no? And with that, tayong mga Pinoy noon really have turned to plans to help cope with the pandemic, no? So kaya nga, di ba, na-mention kanina ni Cristel that doon nag-umpisa yung term na plantitos and plantitas nung pandemic. And definitely we had other coping that time, no? We had nagkaroon ng mga TikTok dance craze, di ba? Nagkaroon din ng Dalgona Coffee Challenge, di ba? Tapos yun na nga, di ba, nagkaroon ng plantitos and plantitas trend, di ba? Lahat ng mga tao nag-turn into kumbaga hobbies of taking care of their plants, di ba? So minsan mga kapitbahay nagpabonggahan nung ang mga halaman nila nung pandemic. And that is because yun nga, the quarantine na naibigay, no, sa mga tao nung time no. And yun nga, nilagay ko din dito that the stress of lockdown and financial pressure caused by the pandemic have prompted many Filipinos to seek solace in their gardens, earning themselves the nicknames plantitos and plantitas or plant uncles and aunties. So syempre yung stress na encounter ng mga Pinoy, doon nila binuhos. And syempre kumbaga parang naging coping skills or coping mechanism talaga nila yung pag-aalaga ng halaman as part of their coping with their own uncertainties. Kasi hindi natin alam kung kailan ba matatapos yung pandemic that time. Even we had news about the vaccines, di ba, parang ang layo pa ng, or ang tagal pa natin bumalik sa normal. And fortunately, kahit pa paano yun, di ba, we're still on the pandemic, pero medyo maluwag or maluwag na ngayon as compared no kailan ba, like yung mga first, hindi man first months, pero like yung mga October 2020, di ba, October, basta mga bare months na, di ba, sobrang doon na talaga natin naramdaman yung tindi ng pandemic. So also, nung pandemic rin kasi, di ba, yung mga plans natin is, sila yung naging way para mais din yung boredom natin. Siyempre, di ba, ang tagal nating naka-quarantine, kumbaga makalabas man tayo pero particular places lang yung napupuntahan natin such as the mga groceries, palengke, pharmacies, di ba? Parang yun lang ang pinupuntahan natin, no? And definitely yung boredom na nararamdaman natin during that time, no, eh sobrang bigat kasi yun nga, wala man din tayong choice, di ba? We have to the only thing that we can do is to have our activities sa bahay, yun nga, internet, the social media, di ba? So ngayon, yung plans nag-give way din sila para at least mais natin yung boredom. Pero Sir Jomar, paano ba nawala yung boredom ng mga tao during that time? So syempre, nurturing a living thing that grows and shows development over time creates a sense of accomplishment. Yung sense of accomplishment na naramdaman natin or na-encounter natin during taking care of our plants during the pandemic, yun yung nag-boost ng self-confidence natin and as well as help us makasurvive ng pandemic, no? And being one with nature and rearing a living thing really generally creates a sense of well-being leading to a better state of mental health. So kahit walang pandemic, di ba, if we have that sense, di ba, na nakukuha sa halaman, yung sense of self-confidence, di ba, and yung magandang well-being whether may pandemic or wala, it really is a good thing para sa atin, no? I'm sorry. So of course, the food security rin, di ba? Nung pandemic, kumbaga nag-struggle talaga tayo when it comes to, yun nga, particularly sa food natin, no? Kasi syempre nagkaroon ng quarantine, lahat ng mga tawag dito ng transportation, particularly yung mobility ng mga food natin, nahirapan din, no? So definitely the limitation of yung food natin or yung mobility ng food yung nagpahirap or parang isa sa mga struggle natin kung bakit hindi tayo or parang nahirapan tayo with the pandemic, no? But of course, tayong mga Pilipino, no, kumbaga nakahanap rin tayo ng paraan kung paano tayo makakasurvive all throughout the pandemic. And most of the people during that time is nagtanim sila ng mga halaman nila, whether ng mga flowering plants or ng mga particularly ng mga gulay, no? Kaya kasi na-share ko to kasi during nung pandemic dun sa amin, yung mga dating mga halaman doon, nadagdagan ng mga halaman kasi nagtanim din sila ng mga gulay. So may mga tanim doon ng mga pechay, may tanim doon ng okra. So yung mga neighbors namin sometimes nagpapalitan na lang sila or bigayan, lalong-lalo na nung nagkaroon ng community pantry. So yun na, yung mga gulay doon yun din yung nilagay na. Kaya nakakatuwa kasi naging parte talaga ng pandemic period yung nature, di ba? Sila din yung nagtumulong para at least makasurvive ang bawat isa sa atin, particularly in terms of food, no? And of course, social media has become the catalyst to the emphasis of growing your own food, no, as the trends continue creating even the smallest of green spaces, kahit gaano kaliit man yung space niyo sa bahay niyo, di ba? Pwedeng taniman. Kumbaga parang sinasabi nung trend or ng social media before na kahit gaano man kaliit yan, kahit sa bubong ninyo, pwede kayong magtanim dyan. And definitely, yung mga tao talaga during that time is nakahanap ng way para makapag-produce sila ng either ng sarili nilang food and as well as provide comfort dun sa uncertainty na kinakaharap nila nung pandemic. So ngayon, kumbaga, despite of the challenges or kumbaga parang yung mga benefit na-achieve natin or na-experience natin during the time of pandemic, no? Bakit ba natin kailangan pa rin i-include yung nature sa well-being kit natin or sa well-being natin, no? So since our topic about or rather the topic of or rather our topic for today is about workplace, no? Bakit natin kailangan pa rin i-introduce sa mismong trabaho or sa mismong place natin ang nature, no? So why we should include nature in our well-being kit, no? So unang-una na dyan, nature has calming effects on mind, di ba? So ito supported na rito talaga ng study that spending time outside and in green spaces can be great for your physical and mental health, no? Maraming na nagsasabi na studies that spending let's say a specific number of minutes in the environment or green spaces definitely boost our cognitive let's say particularly their thinking, our memory, no? And let's say for example, when we are in our own workplaces, kapag nasa trabaho tayo, it really benefits for us if we take a walk in a green space. Kung let's say for example, we're having a break or let's say pauwi na tayo or gusto lang natin gumala after our work, no? Take a walk in a green space if you can, no? And taking time rather to notice the trees, the flowers or plants or even the birds na nakikita ninyo kahit sa mismong window ninyo or paglabas ninyo really has a positive effect in our well-being, di ba? Another one then, nature can improve social relationships. So ito hindi actually kumbaga parang hindi ko naman na kailangan i-explain to. Definitely nakaka-improve talaga siya ng social relationship. So bakit naman Sir Jomar, paano siya nakaka-improve on what sense, no? So syempre if we hang out with friends or we take vacation trips with friends, di ba? Mas enjoyable, let's say, ba, nag-beach trip tayo with friend, nag-hiking tayo sa mga bundok friends, no? Definitely nakakatuwa siya, no? And yan nilagay ko dito that going on nature trips allows you to have fun and socially interact with others. In fact, many new friendships are formed on campsites and beaches. And sometimes kahit sa mga hiking places, di ba, sa mga bundok, maraming na-form na new friendships dyan. And exposure to nature can help you avoid social isolation and loneliness, thus significantly impacting your mental health. So, siguro sa ngayon, yan, since medyo nakakamaluwag na ang ating quarantine or yung pandemic, try natin na magkaroon tayo ng vacation trip with our friends, particularly exploring nature and kumbaga parang beach trip. Ako kasi definitely gusto ko na talagang mag-swimming. Gusto ko mag-swimming with my friends or let's say with my coworkers kung may chance, no. So ako pinaplano ko talaga na magkaroon talaga ng swimming kasi yun talaga yung gustong-gusto kong gawin, no? But anyway, going back to our discussion, so another particular aspect that why we should include nature in our well-being is that being connected with nature makes us happier. So totoo naman yun, di ba? That spending time in nature is linked to both cognitive benefits rather improvements in mood, mental health, emotional well-being, di ba? And feeling connected to nature can produce similar similar benefits to well-being regardless of how much time one spends outdoors. No, however, may ilang studies kasi na nagsasabi na kumbaga tayo daw yung let's say for example people who are in the urban places, kumbaga na-experience lang daw natin yung nature superficially in a sense that puro nakikita natin yung puno, nakikita lang natin yung ganun. Pero hindi tayo masyadong nagdidig deeper sa nature experience in a sense na kumbaga parang we plant trees, we plant something na yung mga talagang makaka-connect tayo mismo sa halaman. Kasi totoo naman, no? Kasi di ba pag pumapasok tayo sa work, nakita lang natin yung mga puno. Diba? Even sa social media, may mga trees, ganyan. Pero hindi tayo masyado or parang, kumbaga, most pero not all, no, na is kumbaga hindi sila nag-aano in terms of planting trees or taking care of plants, 'di ba? May mga not kanina din, 'di ba? Not yet a plantito plantita, no. So hindi ko naman bine-blame, hindi ko sinasabing mali 'yun, pero 'yun ang sinasabi ng study na kumbaga tayo na nasa urban places, kumbaga parang hindi pa daw tayo talaga kumbaga parang superficial pa lang yung experience natin with nature. And with that, 'di ba? Kumbaga parang sinasabi na this is now the right time for us to be more connected with nature. Diba? So next one, di ba? Why we should include nature in our well-being kit is that because nature makes you feel a lot better. So definitely being in nature, no? Even viewing scenes of nature, di ba, nakakawala siya ng fear, mas nare-relax tayo, di ba? And it's really a good thing that kung halimbawa magte-take tayo ng vacation leave sa work, mas maganda na mag-leave tayo or spend time sa nature para at least mas mabilis tayong maka-recover doon sa pagod na experience natin because of our workplaces, di ba? So, nilagay ko dito, exposure to nature not only makes you feel better emotionally, it contributes to your physical well-being, reducing blood pressure, heart rate, muscle tension, and the production of stress hormones. So, yan particularly sa ating mga employees, no, yung stress hormone, talagang talamak na talamak yan. So it's time for us to be more connected with nature para at least kahit paano mas ma-manage natin yung stress na nararamdaman natin. No? So with that, I believe this is now my last slide, no? But I want to to call Miss Christine Samala to share more about nature and in which paano ba natin madadala or paano ba natin mai-include ang nature sa ating well-being, particularly sa ating workplace, no? So, Miss Tini, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Jomar.
Mm-mm.
Thanks for having us today. Okay, so good morning again, everyone. Again, I'm Tini Rosales Somala of Catch Lifestyle and Garden. I'm happy to be here today in partnership with PVP to share with you some plant parenting tips in the office setup. In general, we will be talking about eco-wellness, the benefits of bringing nature indoors, and some basics when it comes to plant parenthood. Next slide. First off, I'd like to introduce our brand. It's Catch Lifestyle and Garden. If you've never visited any of our stores, we offer indoor and outdoor planters and plants. We are actually the first of our kind to introduce plants and planters in the indoor setup as an inline store in malls. As you can see, we want our customers to be inspired when they enter Catch. So we try to display everything similar to how you would see them in different parts of the house. We have 4 branches. We have in Alabang Town Center, Ayala Malls Manila Bay, UP Town Center, and BF Homes Parañaque. So you feel free to visit any of the stores if you need any plants, planters, and accessories. So we carry 4 brands. So these are the brands that we carry at the store. One is Cappy Europe. The next one is Elo. As you can see, there are a lot of colors to choose from. The next is Edelman. They have glass terrariums. They have metal stands. So it's a different set of items for Edelman. And we also have plant accessories from another studio, London, and Hemleva from the US. So we are the only authorized distributors of the brands Cappy Europe, Elo, Mica Decorations, all of which are Dutch brands, and we source everything straight from the Netherlands. Okay, next slide. So there, plant parenthood during the pandemic. So Sir Jomar here discussed about plant parenting during the pandemic. And I'll just touch on it a little bit because it is related to how the plant selling industry actually grew through the pandemic. So during this time, there was really a boom in the plant selling industry. Some have been longtime plant parents, and some started their hobby during the pandemic. And so the increase in plantitos and plantitas, or as we call them, plant parents. With this, a lot of people started to see the benefits of having plants indoor. That's why even health officials recommended that people should go out more, enjoy the sun, enjoy nature to lessen the risk of getting the virus. So bringing nature indoors. So nowadays, companies have already been bringing in plants into their workspace, not just to beautify the area, but to make their employees feel and work better. The color green has always had a calming and relaxing effect, as mentioned by Sir Jomar in his presentation. So the benefits of having plants indoors. So some of you already feel the benefits of this if you have plants at home. So we're just going through for those who are starting with being a plant parent. So these are the benefits of having plants indoor. So it improves your mood, it reduces fatigue, lowers stress and anxiety, improves office performance and focus, boosts healing and pain tolerance, minimizes the occurrence of headaches by improving air quality, and it also eases dry skin and respiratory ailments due to dry air. So many houseplants absorb toxic substances found in man-made materials that are known to off-gas pollutants in the air in your home, school, and office. In addition, in a study done in the US, they found that houseplants can reduce indoor dust by up to 20%. In effect, houseplants are efficient air cleaners. A positive effect of this increased oxygenation can be to improve our mood, energy, and mental focus. In fact, studies have found that when people were allowed to have indoor plants in their office space, their work performance improved. Next slide, please. So when starting out, it's important to learn the basics on how to care for your plant. So let's dive in and go through each of these items. So the first one is the medium. So the medium or potting mix or soil, for container pots or indoor plants, we discourage pure garden soil or loam soil. This is the kind that gets really compact when it's dry and it suffocates the roots of your plant. You would want them to have some sort of aeration and some kind of nutrient mixed in. Aeration can be improved by adding perlite, cocoa cubes, pumice, or grits to your plant medium. While food can be worm castings or slow-release fertilizers, etc. At Catch, we usually use cocoa peat for our indoor plants as it retains the right amount of moisture, has good drainage, and would rarely have organisms or pests. It's also cleaner, so you don't have soil on the ground. Next slide, please. Okay, for water, each plant has different water requirements. A good general rule to follow is to stick your finger or a wooden stick about 1 to 2 inches into the soil. So you just have to stick it there. So here I have a wooden stick. If the soil sticks to your finger or the wooden stick, this means it's probably still moist. So don't water. When in doubt, don't do it. Plants can survive a day or two of being underwatered than being overwatered. Water thoroughly until water runs through the drain holes. This helps your plant's roots become more established and grow healthy downwards, not just keeping shallow roots. We recommend flushing out every month or watering until the excess water flows clear down the drainage holes of your plant liner, as this helps remove excess salt and nutrients that builds up in the medium. So it's best to use, for you also to save on water, we also recommend using rainwater. collected from drain pipes or rain barrels. So you can have a pail to catch the water. So especially kung ngayon maulan, so you can actually save water by using that instead. So it is sustainable and you are able to actually save and use the water for something that for the plant. So you can also use distilled or purified water or stale water. Stale water meaning you leave the water in an open container overnight for 48 hours. So next is light requirements. So this is very important because if we are talking about an office space, so of course that really depends on where you are positioned in the office or even actually at home, you have to know which plants will survive. So knowing your space and the light sources and knowing the correct names of your plants will help you determine where it is to best position your plant. Let's start identifying the light source in your work area. Next slide. So now you have the direct light. So this is full sun. This is when plants are directly exposed to the sun's rays. This is the most intense light, which is great for outdoor plants, but might damage or burn most indoor plants, but would be perfect for plants like cacti and succulents and other flowering plants. So for the office, this should be for an office that has tables by the window. Next slide. For bright and direct light, these are areas by a window where there is good amount of light. Most indoor plants really enjoy this light. If you have a lot of windows, so if your office has a lot of windows, take advantage of these areas, but remember to rotate your plant regularly as plants will bend towards the light source. So if you will notice, you have some plants that are kind of near the window and they're not getting enough sun. So sometimes nagbe-bend sila towards where the sun is. So that's already a sign that your plant is looking for light. So they are alive, so they're really looking for what they need most. So north-facing windows are best for plants not directly exposed to rays of the sun from either sunrise or sunset. So plant types are like ficus, palms, monsteras, ferns, etc. Next slide is the medium light, sorry. Okay, with medium light, it's the distance from the window or light source that makes it more medium compared to bright indirect light. It could be a plant on the table, on one of the shelves, or a corner where no sunlight directly touches the leaves of your plant. So the plant types that we can use for this area are the dracaenas, the ficus, croton, orchids, palms, cypritzi, philodendrons, rapis, schefflera. So there. The next is the low light. So these are areas where there is no natural light at all. So if your office is located at the back end and there's really no light there, so you have to be careful with the plants that you put beside you or you put on your table. There are certain plants that can still live here, but of course the growth will be much slower. If you don't have the time to rotate your plants or give them their weekly dose of vitamin D, I would suggest maybe getting some artificial grow lights to keep them happy. So it's important to remember that all plants need light and they can tolerate low light, but it doesn't mean that they will thrive in low light. So plant types, you have Calathea, Aglonema, Sansevieria, pothos, ferns, you have Anthurium, so just to name a few. So from some of the offices we are actually helping with their plant maintenance, what we advise them to do, they usually bring out their plant. So if they need sunlight, they bring them out to the balcony, so at least they get their weekly sunlight. Next is feeding. So every potted plant needs additional support because as the roots grow, they use up all the nutrients in the existing soil. So what we use is slow release fertilizer, which is the safest. For water soluble types, apply maximum of 50% strength only. In our country where we enjoy tropical weather, we can apply fertilizer almost all year round, but let's not overdo it. Monthly fertilization is enough. And you have the periodic maintenance. It suffices to do a weekly inspection of your plants to check for the following. So you check the moisture, humidity, pests, and dusting. So of course, you also have to keep your plants clean. So if there are any dust, you have to wipe them clean. So just wipe it very gently to make it shiny again. And they will love that, of course, because they are alive. So you have to really take care of them. Some plants grow vigorously during the summer, so look out for root-bound plants. So thick foliage is a sign of healthy roots system. So just a sample of the plants that are easy to take care of and are best for your office space. So they don't require any trimming. They just need regular watering every 7 to 10 days for indoor. So to recap, the following are the basic needs. So we have the correct plant identification. Of course, you have to know what plant. There are plants that you really want to get, but you always have to think of the space because you might think this is a nice plant, but when you put it in your table or in your office space, they might just die. So you need to identify the plant and what it needs. So that's the medium, water, light, and the nutrients. The next is, of course, for those here who are starting pa lang to become plantitos, plantitas, I'm sure there is a hesitation on your end. So some concerns are because they think may black thumb kayo, na only those who have green thumbs can really grow a plant or can let it survive. Actually, that's not true. You really just have to, well, some people overwater, underwater, but I think there's no such thing as a black thumb. It's really that you find the right plant. You will always find the right plant that will survive and thrive with you. It only takes practice and patience for it to survive. So you can actually start having plants. So we at Catch, we believe in the power of bringing nature indoors. Just having plants around you will obviously offer psychological benefits, but the act of caring for your plants can also help decrease stress and anxiety. So next time you're watering plants, admire your plant's leaves and flowers, touch them, maybe even talk to them. Some people really do, and for some it really works. It will help both you and your plants thrive. So that's the end of my talk today. Thank you everyone for your time, and I hope that you were able to learn something new today.
Wow. And I just want to say I can confidently admit that I have learned a lot from Sir Jomar and Miss Christine, and that I have a greater appreciation now, not only for plants, but nature in general. So thank you to our speakers. I am sure not only I and Christelle, but everyone who watched has learned a lot.
Yes, so thank you once again to our speakers. We really do hope that our participants were able to learn a lot from our presentation today. So I hope that you all are still here because later we will have a small quiz where we will be giving 2 lucky winners a prize sponsored by Catch. But first, we would just like to take this chance to invite everyone to please join our upcoming trainings and webinars. So first of all, our first webinar will be on the 18th of October, starting from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. The title is Working Smart, a Time and Self-Management Webinar.
Then on the next day, we have BXYZ, managing multi-generational workplace as a competitive advantage. That would be the succeeding day, October 19, 2022 at 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
We will also have a webinar called Quiet Quitting in the Workplace. How is it related to employee mental health on October 21 from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. by none other than Dr. Marshall Valencia.
Next, we have Executive Leadership Program happening October 25 to 26 from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
And our next webinar will be Basic Analytics, Data Visualization, and Storytelling from November 8 to November 10 at 8 a.m. up to 12 noon.
Another, we have Money and Mental Health, Why Financial Literacy Matters, happening on November 11 from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. as well.
And one more is Basic Data Analytics for Academics from November 22 to 23, also from 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
And with that, we would like all of you to please like, subscribe, follow all our social media accounts, our Facebook page, our LinkedIn, and our Instagram account, as well as our YouTube account.
Okay, so as we mentioned, we will be having a quiz for today before we end. So 2 lucky winners are going to get the chance to win a Startup Plantito Plantita kit sponsored by Catch once again. So Sancho, ikaw ba, what did you learn today?
Actually, to be honest, I learned quite a lot. But I would say my greatest takeaway would be realizing the underlying connection that we have with plants and nature in general.
Yes, ayan. So that is really good to know, right? So I think we should get started with the quiz now while we still have time. So I will just explain the mechanics. So the first one to get the correct answer will win the startup plant from Catch Lifestyle and Garden. So please, to observe proper decorum, we ask everyone to send their answers only in the chat box that we have here on Zoom. The first correct answer that we see from our end will be the winner. So just a reminder, if ever you are the winner of this prize, you may pick up your prize at Catch's branch in Alabang Town Center. So let's get started with the first question.
So for the first question, we have the blank hypothesis is the belief that humans are genetically predisposed to be attracted to nature. It states that all humans inherently love the natural world.
Ayan, okay. So ang dami na nating answers. So on our end, we have Kino Sevilla who answered biophilia. So I believe that is the correct answer. So I think we can declare that Kino Sevilla once again is one of our winners for today's prize. Congratulations. Okay, so now let's get to our second and final question. What are the names of 2 of the speakers for our today's learning session? So please write both names on the chat box, full names, please. Okay, so may answer na tayo with both names. So Leonor Rivera, they said Christine Samala and Jomar Juliesa, so that is correct. So I believe that Leonor Rivera is also our second winner for today's prize. Congratulations. Okay, you're welcome. So that's it for today. Just a reminder, everyone, for the 2 winners, you may collect your prize at Catch's ATC branch in Alabang Town Center. Okay, so thank you once again to all participants for being here with us today, especially those who are currently watching through Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And thank you once again to our dear speakers for sharing your knowledge on our topic.
Yeah, so thank you to all our viewers. We hope you had a great time. And once again, my name is Sancho.
And my name is Christelle, and we hope you all have a wonderful day ahead.
When it feels like I've been fading to the background, don't leave my room for like a week, don't wanna go out. But all these moments keep reminding me of just how you can't have the highs without the letdowns. I overcomplicate, I underestimate how easy it is to live like this. Feel better if I take my time, just a second and I'll be alright. I know that there's a love that gon' find me. There's something about that feeling. There's something about that feeling. There's something about that feeling. There's something about that feeling.